Hey, hello everybody, how's it going? It's Howard Snyder here again with radar contact loss. So we're going to do another session this evening. It's probably not going to be as busy as my last session, but we'll see what happens. You never know. It's about 10 o'clock Eastern on a Monday night, so there might not be a whole lot of traffic. I got Houston Center online. We're going to activate the session and open up audio for VATSIM here and get started. Already spoken to Jacksonville Tower, their West operations, and they're online, and that's about the only other folks I have available in the airspace. So we'll see how much traffic we got here.
Oh crap, Ian, there you are. Hold on. Oh shit. Hold on. Hold on, since you're here.
All right.
Jacksonville Center, good evening, Air Canada 1208 with you, flight level 360.
Canada 1208, JAX Center Squawk 7331.
American 1639.
American numbers again?
American 1639.
American 1639, Jacksonville Center Squawk 6526.
6526, American 1639.
Delta 2934 to receive voice.
Jacksonville Center, Allegiant 1840 is about 20 miles northeast of Sanford, the ILS from my 27 right approach.
Delta 2934, JAX Center Squawk 6213. American 1639 radar contact about 20 miles west of the Cairns VOR, maintain level 300.
American 1639, request climb level 360.
Legion 1840, Jacksonville Center Squawk 4322.
4322, Allegiant 1840.
Canada 1208 radar contact 15 miles west of the Florida intersection, maintain level 360.
Maintain 360, Air Canada 1208.
Delta 2934 radar contact 30 miles southeast of the Alma VOR, just set to maintain level 350. Legion 1840 radar contact to 15 miles north of Sanford, the Orlando altimeter 3023. Which runway were you planning?
27 right.
Okay, you want the visual?
I'll take the ILS round, so we'll get.
Legion 1840, expect the ILS runway 27 right, so to maintain 3000, flatting 090.
Flighting 090, so maintain 3,000 miles, runway 27 right approach, Allegiant 1840.
And somebody was requesting an altitude change. Who was that?
America 1639, request climbing level 36.
36?
Correct.
American 1639, climb maintain level 360.
360, final American 1639.
Delta 2704, flight level 190.
Jacksonville Envoy, 4109 is short final runway 35 at Pensacola.
Envoy 4109, runway 35, clear to land.
35 clear land, Envoy 4109.
Delta 2704, Jacksonville Center Squawk 5504.
Delta 2704, squawk 5504.
Hello, Center. Good evening. Delta 128, flight level 340.
Delta 128, Jack Center Squawk 6720.
6720 for Delta 1.
Delta 2704, your radar contact 15 miles north of the Ormond Beach VOR. Descend via the Seinfeld 3 arrival, Orlando altimeter 3026.
Send Seinfeld 3 arrival, Delta 2704.
Delta 2934, yeah, sure.
Jackson Center, November 700, Juliet Papa, flight level 430, overhead dunk. Congrats on the new YouTube channel.
November 700, Juliet Pop, JAX Center, squawk 6726.
6726, November 700, Juliet Papa.
Allegiant 1840, turn right heading 150, descend and maintain 1600.
Moving 1 center, turn right heading 050.
Delta 128, radar contacts 30 southeast of the Alma VOR, descend and maintain level 330.
Level 330 for Delta 12.
Delta 128, say Mach number.
Delta 128 Mach .78.
Delta 120, reduced to Mach point 77.
Reducing to .77 for Delta 12.
All right, so talking about the scratch pads before, guys. So put the scratch
Jacksonville
pad
Center,
here,
good
so you can
evening,
actually see
TVM
the
November
Mach
4695 Zulu.
just gives the controller information about what's going on with the airplane. So now I have his Mach number in the data tag. Who was that checking in?
Yes, sir, that's TVM November 4695.
November 4695, JAX Center, squawk 6244.
6244, 95 Zulu.
Allegiant 10, 1840, turn right heading 190.
190, Allegiant 1840.
November 700, Juliet Papa, radar contact 30 miles northeast of the JAX intersection. Maintain flight level. You climbing to, showing you 42.6. Where you planning on going?
We're supposed to be 430, apologies. We'll fix that. 0 Juliet Papa.
0 Juliet Papa, roger. Standard pressure, climb maintain flight level 430.
Standard pressure 430, November 700, Juliet Papa.
So I'm trying something different tonight. We're going to try a black screen. I had it kind of on a bluish kind of hue before. I'm thinking that may have been harder for people to make stuff out. So I'm going to just try the black screen, flat black, and see if that looks any different or better as far as what you guys are able to see. Delta 2704 information. Bravo's current, let me know when you have that. Expect the visual approach 35 left, 35 left.
Delta 2704, we'll look for Bravo, expect 25 left.
Yeah, 35 left, 35 left. Allegiant 1840, turn right heading 240, intercept runway 27 right, localizer.
240, intercept localizer from 27 right, Allegiant 1840.
Delta 2704, expect 35 left.
Delta 2704, expect runway 350.
Yeah, 35 left, 35 Lima.
Sorry about that. 35 left for Delta 2704. Doing a shared cockpit here.
American 1639, the line is offline, radar services terminated, frequency change approved. American 1639, radar services terminated, frequency change approved. Allegiant 1840 is 2 miles from Udemy, maintain 1,600 till established on the localizer, cleared ILS runway 27 right approach.
Cleared ILS runway 27 right approach, Allegiant 1840.
All right, so he's established on the final for 27.
Delta 2704, top of descent.
Yes, sir. You were advised to descend via the arrival. So you descend via the altitudes on the start, your discretion.
Roger.
Okay, so let's talk about that a minute. So this pilot is a new guy. He's on the Seinfeld 3 arrival. So this is a descend via arrival, which means it has published altitudes and speeds. The phraseology that we give is to descend via the arrival. And so basically, these are published altitudes that the FMS on the aircraft should follow down the star. So as the
Jacksonville Center, TDM 950.
it will continue down and follow the altitudes on the star and speeds. So this is something that the pilot should get set up in the FMS. Sorry, who was checking in?
Yes, sir. TDM 950 Zulu. We were here on the ground at Jacksonville, so we copy I-part of O'Connell.
Okay, sir, you just called up. I thought you were in the air. I gave you a squawk code. Where are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm over here at Zephyr Hills, sir, ready to copy I-part to Ocala.
I'm sorry, what's the name of the airport? I'm just having trouble hearing you.
Zephyr Hills Airport, that's Kilo Zulu Papa Hotel, sir.
Yeah, that's Tampa Approach, which is Miami Center. You're going to Ocala. Give me a call when you get airborne. I'll give you some information once you're airborne out of there.
Roger.
Delta 2704, are we cleared to land?
Well, it'd be kind of hard to land when you're 30 miles northeast of the airport. Delta 2934, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Copy.
Delta 128, you got traffic ahead of you about 15, 18 miles. He was talking to me. He stepped away, but at any rate, he is able to receive voice. He just receives voice and text. So anyway, just so you're aware, radar services terminated, frequency change approval. See you later.
Appreciate the update. Yeah, the traffic in front is company, so I'll keep an eye out for him and frequency change approved for Delta.
Center, leaving the courthouse with a final Dallas.
1841 Y27 right, clear to land.
I'm right clear, Lately, James 40.
Canada 1208, radar services terminated, frequency change approved. Have a good night.
Forwarding on the comm, Air Canada 1208. Have a good night.
Air 0 Juliet Papa, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Have a good night, 0 Juliet Papa.
Okay, so let's see. All these guys are going to exit the airspace. Legion just landed. Give him some taxi instructions here. Legion 1840, roll out to Lima, left on Lima, cross runway 27 center, and then Charlie into the ramp. Have a good night.
Well, Lima, cross runway 27 and Charlie to the ramp. Legion 1840.
Okay, so I was trying to open the TDLS in case we have some people that want some departure clearances. At the 2934, you're leaving my airspace, radar services terminated, frequency change approved. Okay, so Southwest 210 has a flight plan filed out of Orlando. See if he's already here. No, he's not there. See if he's already in the air somewhere. I don't see him. We'll just leave it in there in case he shows up. So I'm going to auto track Orlando, Jacksonville, Charleston, Daytona, and Columbia. These are the airports that I have an ATIS or I have a tower controller below me. So this way when the aircraft comes off the field, they'll automatically populate a full data block. And I don't need to query their data block off the field. So it's a separate command, individual command for each airplane, unless I do the auto tracking. So just save some time, energy, and so forth. So that's good. Okay, so I got a little bit dead here. We'll descend Delta down to 3,000.
Crossing the center, American 242, 6 off.
American 242, JAX Center, squawk 3250.
3250.
Delta 2704, descend and maintain 3000.
Down to 3000, Delta 2704.
Okay. So I'm hoping this black background will look better. We'll see. I'm just going to flip the airport around here. Going to go north ops. So we can see our final approach courses here for Orlando. Runway 36 left does not have an ILS. It's RNAV only. So you're seeing the final approach courses for the ILS 36 right, 35 left, and 35 right here. Same thing on the other side, on the south arrivals, runway 18 left.
Delta 2704, if possible, can we get the turn now? We're ready to roll.
You got the field inside Delta 2704?
Affirmative.
2704, clear visual approach, runway 35 left.
Clear for visual, 35 left, Delta 2704.
Godspeed. American 242, radar contact about 40 miles southwest of the Ormond Beach VOR, maintained for level 360. So these guys are ready to manhandle the airplane and just make a quick turn into the airport. Usually try to set people up for a very stable approach, but they're ready to go. Got some sick passengers or something. Level 2704, the wind's 3606, runway 35 left, clear to land.
35 left, clear to land, Delta 2704.
So they're 240 knots on about a 7-mile base. It's starting to get down now. Stable approach would have them at 1,600 at spur. So they're, I don't know. They're yanking it in there.
JAX center, JAX low, ground.
Good.
Got November 324 for Lima at the ground, 5 following to St. Augustine.
Okay. Yeah, you don't have to let us know necessarily about that stuff.
Okay.
You can, if you want to, just put like flight following in the remarks, so that when we see the tag, or well, you can do that if you want to, but you don't really have to get permission to do that necessarily, honestly.
Okay, I was putting it on
No
the
biggie.
on the route.
Yeah, that's fine. You could just put like FF or something in the route. That'd be great.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so when they come off the when they come off the field, they're going to be radar identified. So if I don't have time, then I'm just going to release them and tell them I don't have time. So from a Charlie airport standpoint, it really doesn't matter. Maybe from a Delta, like if you're working a Class D and they're requesting flight following, and you saw that we were super busy, you might ask, hey, this guy wants flight following. Should I just tell him to call you, or do you want to go ahead and give it? Go ahead and offer him flight following up from the get-go, and then if I wasn't busy, then I would just say give him a code. If I was busy, I would say, well, have him call me and I'll see if I can work it out. You see the difference?
Yep.
Cool.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Delta Parks, right on this little outshoot here on airside 4. Delta 2704, you can roll out to Hotel 3 and then Hotel 3 into the ramp. Have a good night.
Roll out to Hotel 3 into the ramp. See you. Thank you.
We landed. Have a good night.
Same.
JAX Center, good evening. American 126 with you, flight level 310.
Record 126, JAX Level Center, squawk 3016.
Squawk 3016,
So
American
we were talking
126.
about radar contacting aircraft. So there are different ways to radar contact an airplane to verify position on the radar. The first way is for an aircraft to come off a towered field with the SOPs in place and known departure runways, and then if they are seen within 1 mile of the runway coming off the field, then that is one way to radar identify the aircraft. Um, the second way is for the pilot to call with their position from a known fix, which we obviously are trying to get pilots to do, and at least in VATSIM better. So if they call from a known fix, their distance, and then we can verify that on the radar. So that's another primary way to identify the airplane. The third primary way is to have an airplane turn, probably greater than 30 degrees from their present heading so that we can verify the turn. If we can see that they're turning, then that way we can prove that they are who they are. And then there's some secondary ways. Those secondary ways are what you typically hear us say, we're giving them a code. So if they squawk a new code, and we can verify that code, then that is also a way that we can verify that they are who they are. So when I give the aircraft the code, that code is being transmitted by his transponder radio to my radar, and it's populating a full data tag. And so that is a way for me to verify that is who he is. Another way is to have them actually ident, which is a little feature that allows us to get a flash on the radar. An ERAM, it's a little I don't know, it's like a three-lined type of thing that's directly on the airplane. It's kind of hard to see probably in this, but easier to see in the STARS module because it flashes this ID. It says ID right next to the data tag and flashes it, so it's quite easy to see. And then the other way to do it is just to have the aircraft squawk standby, which means that his data tag would just completely go away. We wouldn't see anything but a primary target, and then have him squawk mode C again. So that basically it's just seeing everything disappear and then everything reappear. And that is another way for us to secondarily radar identify an airplane. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to make sure that the aircraft is who they are and where they are, and then we move on from there. Record 126 radar contact 10 miles south of the San Augustine VOR. Maintain flight level 310.
Maintain flight level 310, American 126.
So we got an aircraft that spawned over here at Pensacola. Maybe he'll do something. We've got a guy that it's a VFR flight falling down to St. Augustine. He's getting ready to take off here out of Jacksonville. I've got another aircraft here. I guess hopefully he'll be departing. Nothing going on in the northeast sector. So the way I have my screen set up, my center screen, which is what you're seeing here, has the entire RTX on. I have two other screens, all the same size. The left screen over here, I have basically the P-31 Tracon Pensacola, and I have Tallahassee, so I'm kind of moving across our airspace here. Here I have the Orlando airspace, so all three of these on one screen, so I can zoom in really quick and give adequate vectors to final. On my right screen, I have basically I'm kind of doing Jacksonville, Daytona. So this is the Jacksonville airspace is quite large. It's probably the biggest airspace that we own from a real estate standpoint. And then Daytona is butted up against it here. This is Daytona. So basically I just do this is my Jacksonville Daytona screen, and then I have a screen for all the Northeast airports starting from Savannah. So all of these airports up here, I have zoomed in right here with the appropriate video maps for those airspaces. So that's kind of how I arrange my my radars to try to be more efficient. So aircraft that are VFR, that's visual flight rules, means the aircraft has to fly in conditions where there is at least 3 miles of visibility and 1,000 feet ceiling or more. And then they have to, they're basically responsible for maintaining their own separation from other traffic by looking out the window. So obstacles and traffic they avoid by looking out the window. In the National Airspace System, it would behoove anyone that flies VFR to get radar services if they're available in that area. It's just going to be safer. They're going to get traffic advisories, even if they have an ADS-B in or out, so that they can see other traffic. Doesn't mean that the other aircraft that's near them has it. So we're able to see all primary targets and can issue them traffic advisories.
Good evening, Jacksonville Center, Southwest 2737 with you, flight level 400. We're about 37 miles south of the Wilmington VOR.
And what were the Southwest numbers again?
And we're Southwest 2737, just south of the Wilmington VOR, flight level 400.
I'm so sorry. The numbers, I just need the numbers. 27 what?
2737.
There we go. I just missed your numbers. Southwest 2737, JAX Center, Squawk 3404, your radar contact position as reported.
And 3404 for Southwest 2737.
So he reported, this is the
JAX Center, good evening, Beach 3244 Lima 2500, heading 200 out of JAX.
Actually, he's here, just south of Wilmington. Over 3244 Lima, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, maintain VFR, resume all navigation.
Maintain VFR, resume all navigation, thanks, Beach 44 Lima.
So he's going down to St. Augustine. Tower's pretty sure that tower is closed this hour. Double check. Let's see. 9 local, so that was an hour and a half ago, so it's closed. Another aircraft flying VFR here, just east of Daytona. Some more guys spawning over here at Jacksonville. So this corridor here, aircraft going up through this segment of airspace, basically from here, so this airway, and over to about this fix here, this corner. These aircraft need to pass through here at an odd altitude. This is a letter of agreement with Atlanta that we have. Aircraft pass into here at an even altitude, which does seem not normal for direction of flight rules, but that's the way we have arranged it, and it does actually make a lot of sense with our flow of traffic in this weird corridor here. We have this, the way we've got all this set up through here. So I'll be descending, or I'll be changing his altitude here to comply with that. American 242, I just need to give you an odd altitude for the remainder of the flight. Would you like 37 or 35? American 242. Okay, he's not around. So again, just I'll go over the airspace a little bit with you guys and gals. This is Jacksonville Center. We cover all the way over to the west edge of Florida, into southern Georgia, all the way down to Orlando, and then up to Myrtle Beach and Columbia, South Carolina. So it's a pretty large area of airspace. We have a lot of Charlie airspaces, so which makes our airspace kind of unique because we do have a lot of popular fields that people fly to, including Pensacola, Tallahassee, Savannah, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, Jacksonville, Daytona, and Orlando, Florida. Plus, a lot of people go to Tampa too. The Tampa approach airspace is owned by Miami Center, so a lot of people will fly through here to go to Tampa. Obviously, overflights going down to Miami and South Florida are common. We border up against Houston. This is Houston Center here. So this is Mobile, Alabama. This sector here. And then as we move up here, we border up with Atlanta. So this is Atlanta Center. All this airspace over in here is Atlanta Center. This is the Atlanta airport here. And then as we come up around, we border Washington Center from here to here. So this is Washington Center. And then we actually have New York radar. So New York actually has a radar sector that comes all the way down into this area, which is not a real popular area. It's my dog Piper, so I'm saying hello. So we do have some aircraft that'll pass through here, but it's pretty rare. We have New York radio. This is all oceanic out this way. And then Miami Center is at the bottom here, the south side. So American 242. Air 44 Lima, San Augustine Tower is closed at this hour. Let me get the altimeter for you. San Augustine altimeter is 3029, or just let me know when you have the field in sight.
2029, I believe we have the license site, just let me confirm that. Yeah, 44 Lima has the field.
Air 44 Lima, roger. Radar services terminated. Squawk VFR, frequency change approved. Have a good night.
I will squawk 54 and we'll see you later. Beach 44 Lima, have a good night.
Okay, so we terminate his VFR flight following. We tell him to squawk VFR, which hopefully he'll do.
Jacksonville, it's Envoy 3762 of Pensacola, clearance to Miami, please.
With 3762 Jacksonville Center, clearance on request. When the aircraft squawks VFR, the call sign goes away, which he did there now. So the only thing you see now is a primary target with an altitude. So he's squawking mode C with a 1200 code, which in the United States is the code for VFR, which just does some things to our radar so that we realize that they're VFR. Okay, so we've got a aircraft that wants clearance out of Pensacola. Boy 3762, you're cleared to the Miami International Airport as filed after departure. Maintain 3000. Expect low level 330, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 1522.
Envoy 3762 is clear to Miami as filed. Maintain 3000 on departure, 330 for cruise and squawk 1522.
Envoy 3762, read back correct. Runway 35, call for taxi. The Pensacola altimeter is 3033.
All right, we'll call you soon for the taxi, Envoy 3762.
Okay, so let's get some clearance. Looks like we got another VFR guy coming here out of JAX. Starting to taxi. American 242.
American 242.
American 242, nothing further. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Roger, see you approved. Hold it, have a nice day.
Good night, sir.
Howard, I got a question if you got a minute.
Yeah, what you got?
VFR altitudes on the strip.
Center
On
Delta
the right
1264,
here.
flight level
Is it
360,
V/ and then
and
altitude?
currently about 47 southeast of Grandstand.
Hang on 1 second. The call sign one more time.
Delta 1264.
Oh, 1264 Jacksonville Center radar contact. Reset transponder. Squawk 4232.
4232 Delta 1264.
Say that one more time. Sorry.
The VFR altitude on the altitude box of the
Yeah.
flight plan.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
what,
so you
what
have
would
two
be,
choices. You can, if they give you the altitude that they're requesting, then just put a V and then the abbreviated altitude. So like if they're 6,500, you'd put V065.
no slash?
No slash.
Okay, no slash. That's what I was missing.
If they don't specify, then just type VFR and it will. I mean, because when we're seeing what we see is all we really care about is what their actual altitude is. We don't necessarily care about what they're requesting from a VFR standpoint. So you can just leave it. That's fine. Just plain VFR. It's perfectly okay.
Okay, yeah, I was just confused between a slash and no slash and all that stuff.
Gotcha. No problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just making a couple of changes to my brightness here. So this guy's at 360, so I'm just going to update his altitude. He filed 38, but he's at 36. So we've updated that. See if I can make these data tags any brighter. Okay. So we got an intruder coming in over Orlando here. Two guys. Give them a call. Got a Legion coming here. So these guys are on a collision course. This is why we do the odd altitude through here. So these guys literally are basically at the same altitude, level 360, and they're only probably going to be about 2-3 miles apart when they pass here. So we would ordinarily have this aircraft at an odd
Jacksonville
altitude.
Center, good evening. Air Canada 1029er Heavy, 65 miles south of Dukehead, flight level 300.
Air Canada 1029, JAX Center, squawk 0754.
Squawk 0754, Air Canada 1029er Heavy.
Air Canada 1029, radar contact 20 miles southeast of the Orlando VOR, maintain level 390.
Maintain flight level 300, Air Canada 1029er Heavy.
Jacksonville Center, 8 Golf is level with you at 2,600, climbing 5,500.
Or 268 Mike Golf, Jacksonville Center, roger. You can resume your navigation to the south, maintain appropriate VFR altitudes at your discretion. The JAX altimeter is 3028.
Jacksonville, altimeter 3028, altitude at my discretion, near my golf.
Jacksonville Center, good evening. American 1936 with you at flight level 320.
American 1936, JAX Center, squawk 7755.
Radio check.
Loud and clear.
Jacksonville Center, Legion 992, 50 miles west of East Bend of the OR, flight level 360.
Legion 992, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, reset transponder, squawk 0763.
0763, Legion 992.
American 1936, how do you hear, Jax?
American 1936, I reset my V pilot. I can hear you now. Do you have traffic for me?
Yes, sir. Squawk 7755.
7755.
All right, mic operator contact lost. Legion 992, maintain flight level 360.
Maintain flight level 360, Legion 992.
So he's going to St. Petersburg, Florida, right down here. This guy logged off. This guy's not calling. Got a guy at Orlando. It's a Walker. Let's see if he followed a flight plan. I think I heard a ding dong up here with our TDLS. He did. There it is, Walker. Let's see, cancel that one. So on the Phase 3 departure. And we'll give him 3-5 left, which would be the appropriate runway even if we were doing a
Mic check.
event. Loud and clear. How do you hear, JAX Center?
Loud and clear, thanks.
This guy hasn't logged on yet. I'll just go ahead and we'll just clear him. If he logs on, he'll get the PDC immediately. Yeah, this guy must be gone, so that is that. So this guy's code is not working. So I'm going to put his data tag on the screen. Like a 1936 and see if it'll coordinate. If not, he's squawking the wrong code. So, oh, there it goes. So sometimes the codes don't, it's weird. Sometimes they don't flip the data tag. We're got 1936 radar contact 10 miles southeast of the Orlando VOR, maintained for level 320. American 1936, how do you hear, Jacksonville?
Loud and clear, 5x5.
Okay, so your radar contact, maintain level 320.
Radar contact 320.
So these two guys going to Orlando over the Atlantic. When they come out over the Atlantic, they actually go into Miami Center down to this fix here, and then they cut across and go into the Orlando approach sector directly from Miami Center. We have the same issue with aircraft that come over the Gulf. They go to Orlando, they They pass through the Gulf, through our airspace, go to Miami Center, and then they descend, and then they get sent into Orlando approach from Miami Center. And we basically have the same sort of deal. We have a couple of departures out of here that go directly to Miami Center, going to the southwest, going to the southeast. So it's kind of a unique airspace with two busy airports, dealing with two centers basically, right on the borders here. And we do the same thing with Tampa. We have, a couple departures in, a couple departures out. It works the same way.
JAX Envoy 3762 is going to be ready to taxi Pensacola.
Envoy 3762, roger. Runway 35, taxi via Alpha, cross runway 8.
35 Alpha, cross runway 8, Envoy 3762.
He's going to go down to 35 here. Can show you one of our tower diagrams, just to give you an idea. You can put tabs. In here. It's a very unique map program. But we can tab different tabs all in the same thing here, and we can just tab back and forth. So it's kind of cool. So I can actually show you the ground map. Pensacola. So it's a ground map. Let me turn down this overlay so you can see it better. So here's
Jacksonville Center, good evening, flight Frontier 420 with you, 380.
Let's make these a little bit bigger so you can see it. There we go. Now you guys can see it, the ground map, as he taxis out.
Jacksonville Center, good evening. Flight Frontier 420 is just crossing over ETOR, flight level 380. Hello.
Frontier Flight 420, JAX Center, squawk 6552.
Six five five two in the box, Frontier 420.
Frontier Flight 420, radar contact 20 miles southwest of the San Augustine VOR, maintain level 380.
Maintain path, Frontier 420.
So at the Orlando facility, we use an ASD file. It's a ground radar. So this is what the ASD file looks like. As soon as they squawk the code, then their data tag will populate on the ASDEX, and so you can see him. This is sort of a ground map that we have in ERAM, and then this is the ASD file. So this is what they use in the real world in the tower. If you ever look up stuff, look on a tower view, real world tower, you'll see if any really large class Bravo tower is usually going to have a ground radar, and they'll have an ASD map for their airport. For all the other towers that we have here in the airspace, it's just this ground map that we use for tower and ground, and then at Orlando we have the ASD file. Envoy 3762, fly runway heading, runway 35, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading, runway 35, clear for takeoff, Envoy 3762.
So I'm going to go ahead and activate his flight, 3762. So a little code here. Now his flight is active, and when he takes off, his data tag will populate on my screen in a full data block. And since I am the tower, since it's top down, and I know the active runway, then when the aircraft comes off the end of the runway, then that is good enough to be a primary form of radar identification. So as I zoom out now to the entire class Charlie, this is the Charlie airspace, the 10-mile ring. So all Charlies typically have a 5-mile ring and a 10-mile ring with different altitudes associated with it. I'll show you that here in a second. Once he takes off, you'll see the full data block pop up onto the radar. Right now, you're just seeing the ground map. When they're on the ground, they have this small little data block that just has their call sign, their destination. I think it has a ground speed on it. And there it is. So now that he's airborne, his full data block populates for me. And you can see his altitude climbing. Now he's 800.
Radio check.
Let it clear.
Envoy 3762 is climbing 1,100.
Envoy 3762, radar contact, climb and maintain, flow level 330, clear direct Charlie Echo Whiskey, the Crestview VOR, zoom on navigation.
Level 330, nav, Charlie, or Crestview VOR, Envoy 3762.
So if we look at a sectional, show you guys how to. So if we look at the actual sectional for Pensacola.
And JAX Center, Southwest 2737. We're going to step away for about 2 minutes, please.
That's approved. So this is a kind of a mushed airspace here. We have.
And JAX Center, good evening. Circadian 833. We're at St. Simon's, like a pickup high for the Jacksonville.
I'm sorry, I missed the call sign and the airport you're at.
Circadian 833, and we're at St. Simon's Airport.
Circadian 833, Jacksonville Center. Roger, clearance on request. All right, so this guy's, there we go. Let's go on to Jacksonville. Okay. So he's taking off out of an uncontrolled field. He's in a Beechcraft King Air, B350. Circadian 833, you're cleared to the Jacksonville International Airport. V enter the controlled airspace, direct ORTAR, direct, maintain 3,000, expect 4,000, 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.9 or 2, squawk 4245, hold for release.
Sorry, just say again the squawk code for Circadian 833.
Circadian 833, squawk 4245.
Alright, Circadian 833 is clear for Jacksonville via enter controlled airspace direct to OTAR, direct, climb maintain 3,000, 4 and 10, departure with use squawk 4245.
3669, radio check.
Walker 3669, you're loud and clear. Circadian 833, the readback correct. Report number 1 for the runway, this frequency for IFR release. Change to advisor frequency for taxi is approved. The Brunswick altimeter 3029er.
Alright, 29er, and we'll call number 1 holding toward the runway 833, thanks.
aircraft coming off of JAX here, messing up my data tags. See them better.
Tower, that's 21, departure tower, that's 2107, is at 3000, en route to Chetin.
Delta 2107, Jacksonville Center, radar contact, climb and maintain level 380, clear, direct, dirty.
That's a 2107, can you repeat?
Delta 2107, climb and maintain flood level 380, clear, direct, dirty.
That's a 2107, climb, maintain 38, flat level 380, clear to 30.
Record 126, nothing further, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom for America 126. Thanks for the ATC. See you.
See you later. Southwest 2737, back in the comms. So so this is all military airspace here, up to flood level 230. These are RAPCONs for Eglin and for Tyndall. So typically civilian traffic gets sent over the top of these areas here through this area. We keep basically civilian traffic out of here. They have a bunch of MOAs in here that they're doing military exercises. So civilian traffic basically goes along this edge of the airspace here, east and west, going into the Houston airspace. So what I was explaining about the Class Charlie, you can see the Class Charlie rings here. So this is kind of a compressed airspace here at Pensacola. We have the Pensacola International Airport. We also have Navy Pensacola, which is another Class Charlie merged in, and another, this is Whiting Airfield, where they do a bunch of helicopter and fixed wing naval training up at this airport as well. So the typical Charlie airspace is 5-mile rings, and then in the inner ring it's surface, and up to this case it's 4,200. So the altitude for this controlled airspace, surface to 4,200. Then the outer ring, you can be underneath it and not be talking to anybody below 1,400. As soon as you go into between 1,400 and 4,200, then you need to be talking to the air traffic controller in charge of that airspace. So you can see these three Class Charlies and depicted here on our radar here, so you can see them all depicted here. Southwest 2737, JAX.
Yeah, JAX Center, go for Southwest 2737.
Southwest 2737, clear direct Surfer.
Clear direct Surfer, Southwest 2737.
So I'm going to give him a shortcut. He's normally going to go all the way down to this fix here, high back, and then cut across. I'm just going to clear him. I'm going to give him a corner, cut the corner here. Normally they're in Miami Center here. Since Miami Center's not on, I just hang on to them all the way down to Orlando. Southwest 2737 cross Surfer at maintain 14,000, Orlando altimeter 3027.
Roger, we'll cross Surfer at 14,000, Southwest 2737.
So I'm going to update his data tag to the new altitude of 14. That way I know that I gave him that instruction. This guy needs a descent here. He's going into St. Petersburg. Legion 992 cross Olean at maintain 13,000. The Tampa area altimeter 3025.
Olean 13,000, 3025 on the altimeter 299, Allegiant 992.
Departure flight 420, descend and maintain flood level 350.
Down to 350 for Frontier 420.
So our border crossing with Atlanta on these arrivals coming out of the southeast is 350 or less here at the border and at odd altitude. Got another intruder coming in here, Speedbird. So this guy's on his way climbing. This guy's got a descent clearance. This gentleman is set for a handoff to Atlanta, where they're to be on. This guy, I think, is going to go that same route through this corridor here. We can check with a route check. Oh no, I don't know what he's doing. He's not on course. So he's not on the course that he filed. So, you know, I don't get too involved with trying to get people on course unless they're coming into my airspace and need to be going to an airport with me. Anyway, sometimes people change their route midway and they'll refile, but then they won't go through or something like that. But anyway, so it is a neat feature. We can actually see the next few fixes of where they're going just to confirm their route visually. So if we looked at Envoy here, we should be able to see his next few fixes down to the southeast. The QU is the command. I can slew the plane, and you can see it puts out the next few fixes through here. Delta 1264, clear direct surfer, cross surfer at maintain 14,000 or land of altimeter 3027.
Direct surfer, cross surfer at 14, 3027, Delta 1264.
Air Canada 1029. Air Canada 1029, JAX. Digital aircraft, Orlando ATIS Charlie now, current, Orlando altimeter 3027, Daytona ATIS Bravo, current, Daytona altimeter 3026, Charleston ATIS Charlie, current, Charleston altimeter 3031, and Columbia ATIS Bravo, current, Columbia altimeter 3034. So we had a front come through. I don't think there are really any convective segments. We can check and see if there's any convective stuff going on. I usually try to let me read down their page here. Let's see. Segment. So there's just some thunderstorm advisories out here, way out here outside of my airspace, but nothing. Yesterday there was a good bit of convective activity, so I was reporting that to pilots. So this guy's taking a turn to the northeast. I'm going to go ahead and give him an odd altitude at this point. American 1936, just need to give you an odd altitude for the remainder of your flight. Would you like 31 or 33? Crickets. Leads at 992. How do you hear, JAX?
I'm clear.
Roger. American 1936. So I'm just going to put a box around his, we have a way just to put a box around there that'll remind me that I need to get back in touch with this guy and get his altitude changed. So in general, east is going to be odd altitudes, west is going to be even altitudes. just for basic prevention of collision and traffic flow. And then, like we talked about, we have special letters of agreement for certain parts of airspaces where it makes more sense to do it differently. Sometimes pilots get very confused when we start telling them to change their altitude, and they're like, "But that's not, but I'm not going east or I'm not going west."
Good night, Jacksonville Tower. This is Speedbird 2323. Sorry about that for the late communication, but return flight level 380, and ground speed is alive at 450 knots.
Speedbird 2323, Jacksonville Center, squawk 0776, altitude.
You want that to be my transponder or altitude, sir?
Speedbird 2323, in your transponder radio, put 0776, and when you are able, state your current altitude.
Current altitude, 38,000 feet. And Speedbird 2323, squawking 0776.
Speedbird 2323, radar contact, 15 miles southeast of the Jordan intersection, maintain for level 380.
After that, maintain flight level 380, Speedbird 2323.
American 1936. So the arrival he's on in Miami starts at Defun, which is right here. It's a really long arrival. It goes all the way down to Miami. So the arrival starts here and goes all the way down here. It's quite long. The other one starts at a quarry, and the other waypoint that it starts is a quarry and goes all the way down to Miami. So they really have done a good bit of improvements in some of the standard terminal arrivals for what we call the Metroplex down here. Metroplex, with them trying to streamline arrivals, so forth, across the country. Frontier Flight 420, line is off, line radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Over to no man's land. Appreciate the services. Good night.
Good night, Air Canada 1029, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Over to en route frequency, Air Canada 1029er Heavy. Have a good night.
So these pointer lines that you see off the aircraft are, these vector lines are in minutes. So that means that right now it's set to 2 minutes. So that means it will take 2 minutes for him to go to the tip of his point from where he is now. So that gives us some idea. We can increase it as far as 8 minutes. So if I was looking at an aircraft trying to decide if they were going to cross paths at a certain altitude, then I might be able to predict based on that whether or not that could work or not. So that's one use of that. 2 minutes is somewhere around about 15 miles or so, so it gives me some idea of about how far they are distance-wise from each other. So we got another aircraft coming off of Jacksonville, VFR. It's been a VFR night off of Jacksonville, quite honestly. So he's in a Robinson helicopter. Looks like he's just messing around the downtown area, I guess. Got an aircraft coming out of the south here.
Departure helicopter November 447 Romeo Juliet, passing 700 south of Jacksonville.
447 Romeo Juliet, Jacksonville Center. Hello, maintain VFR. You're just going to do some sightseeing around the area?
Maintain VFR, and yeah, we're just checking out downtown and taking a look at Florida. 7 Romeo Juliet.
You plan on going back to Jacksonville?
Yeah, we'll return after we are past downtown.
Okay, Roger, just let me know when you're inbound.
We'll come.
Jacksonville Center Southwest 894 is with you, descending to flight level 300.
Southwest 894, Jacksonville Center, squawk 7460.
7460 in the box for Southwest 894.
American 1936, you back on the frequency? This guy's getting ready to leave the airspace here. Send this guy contact me because I don't know what he's doing. Legion 992, nothing further down there. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night.
Appreciate it, Legion 992. Good night.
Southwest 894, radar contact 15 miles south of the Orlando International, actually the Orlando Vortac. Cross Bass at maintain 13,000 normal speed. The Jacksonville altimeter is 3029er.
Okay, we'll cross Bass with flight level 130 for Southwest 894.
American 1936, are you trying to contact me?
Yeah, American 1936. I've been trying to call you for about 20-30 minutes. Are you on the frequency?
I am. I'm just having some trouble with my V-pilot.
Okay, American 1936. I just need to give you an odd altitude for the remainder of the flight. Do you want 31 or 33?
33 would be preferred.
American 1936, climb and maintain level 330.
330.
Southwest 2737, advise when you have information. Charlie at Orlando, you can expect the visual approach, runway 35 left.
And Roger, we'll check out Charlie and we'll put the visual 35 left, Southwest 2737.
So I can put a scratch pad on there to remind me that I gave him 35 left. We use an abbreviation. It'll be visual 5L for 35 left, so visual 5L, slew the plane, and then I can see that on my data tag V5L. It just gives me a mental note that that's the plan. We also use that for tower, so if tower was online, they use a system where they're able to see our data tags and they can see which runway to assign them on their map. So that's how they know exactly what they get assigned. Make sure that they're on the correct approach and the correct runway.
And Jack Center, Southwest 2737, information Charlie for Orlando.
Southwest 2737, thanks. So these guys might be crossing paths here. He's climbing to
1264 is vacating flight level 360.
Actually, no, he's already higher than his maximum altitude, so I don't have to worry about these guys. We're good there. Sorry, who was that?
1264, we just vacated flight level 360.
Oh, 1264, thanks. So this guy finally figured out he was going the wrong way, and he's just trying. He's going to probably end up back in my airspace because he should have been in my airspace all the way up through here. And I don't know what he was doing, but then I couldn't get a hold of him, and now he's going back up in there. But it's going to move my data tags around a little. So let's take a look at the Poggy arrival into Jacksonville. So Southwest 894 is going to be on that arrival. So this is not an RNAV arrival. It's a non-RNAV arrival with a hard altitude restriction for the approach airspace. Okay. So it starts at the Orlando Vortac. So it starts right here. and then it goes to a fix called Shiner, makes a left turn to a fix called Pogey, where it gets its name, and then it goes directly to the Craig Vortac. So the Craig Vortac is here. So basically it just kind of goes here, and then it goes here, and then it goes over here. So his restriction is for bass, which is this fix here. And the restriction is 13,250 knots. I don't need to slow him down, so I just told him he could go resume normal or maintain normal speed there. And then we usually, when we're east stops, we usually just pull them off and give them a vector off to the west and give them down. But I don't need to do that because we're west stops, so he could just continue down the arrival toward the Craig Vortac, which is here, and then I'll just bring him nicely around into the visual for runway 26. Southwest 2737, descend via the Elena 3 arrival, runway 35 left.
Well, descend via the Elena 3 arrival for runway 35 left, Southwest 2737.
So his restriction was for 14,000 at Surfer. There's a hard altitude for that until that point coming from Miami, and then an Orlando approach gives them the descend via. If they're in our airspace going on an arrival coming down, then they're getting a descend via all the way down from Jacksonville Center. So now I'm going to update his altitude. The bottom altitude is 5,000 on the arrival, so updated that to 5,000. So we can take a look at the Elena. Somebody just filed a flight plan from one of our PDC fields, which are Orlando, Charleston, and Jacksonville. So here's the Elena arrival. So they flew the high back transition and they crossed Surfer, the hard altitude of 14,000. And then we have them descend via the arrival, which joins up on pretty much the same route as all the other RNAV arrivals that come into here. This is basically the same ground track, and the bottom altitude is cue ball here at 5,000. They're going to be descending below that before then, but that's the way the arrival's set up. And they do have speed restrictions along the arrivals here. So let's see what kind of flight plan.
That's an Circadian 833, we're number 1 holding short runway 34 at Site 7.
Circadian 833, roger, release for departure, clearance forward if not off in 5 minutes. If not off in 5 minutes, report your intentions this frequency within 10 minutes. Frequency change approved.
Alright, frequency change approved, we'll wait if not off in 5 for Circadian 833.
So I'm going to go ahead and release, or I'm going to go ahead and activate his flight plan. So I'm going to type DM, which activates the flight plan, and then his CID, or I could type his call sign. I'm just going to type his CID, it's 550. Now his flight plan's active and his data tag will populate when he takes off. And here's Air Canada again, who was on the wrong route, realized it after I sent him to Unicom, and now he's back in my airspace going the correct route. I'm just going to let him go. Not going to be any conflict with me. So I'm just going to pull up the Jacksonville ATIS. ATIS Echo, they're still running runway 26. I can just subscribe to that, so every time it updates, I'll get a ding dong. And let's see if there's any changes.
Center helicopter, November 447 Romeo Juliet. We're going to head back to Jacksonville now.
November 7 Romeo Juliet, roger. Information echoes current. You can proceed direct to the airport.
Proceed direct to the airport. Information echo 7 Romeo Juliet.
JAX altimeter is 3029er.
3029er, 7 Romeo Juliet.
Southwest 894, advise when you have information echo. The altimeter 3029er, you can expect the visual approach runway 26.
I expect a visual for runway 26 information with information ready form Southwest 894.
Information echo is current at JAX.
Information echo, my apologies. I'm looking at it. It's been a long flight, I'm sorry.
It's all good. Helicopter 7 Romeo Juliet, contact Jacksonville Tower 118.3. Helicopter 7 Romeo Juliet, contact Jacksonville Tower 118.3. November 7 Romeo Juliet. This guy just took off out of St. Simons. Let's see what's going on with...
Man, nobody wants to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, it's the story of my life.
At the 1264, we have Charlie.
Roger. Let's see, where are these guys? Yeah, Tower Center.
Go for local.
Are you talking to 7 Romeo Juliet? I told him to call you, but he
Hang
never
on.
answered.
I was. Yes, sir.
Oh, you got him? Okay. Yeah, he just never answered me. Cool, thanks.
Center Circadian 833 or level map at 3000, up St. Simon.
Circadian 833, ident, climb and maintain 4000.
Alright, climb and maintain 4000 with the ident.
See an ident here is going to be hard to see. You're going to see a little 3 lines that populate right on his plane. There it is. Really hard to see. Really hard to see there. Circadian 833 radar contacts. 10 miles north of the Brunswick VOR. The Brunswick altimeter 3029, resume navigation.
You want to nav 833.
Delta 1264, advise when you have information. Charlie, you can expect the visual approach on way 35 left.
We have information, Charlie, and I expect the visual for 35 left out of 1264.
So I'll put the scratch pad entry in the data tag there.
Actually, 1264, we want a nice little long taxi. Can we take the visual for 35 or right?
Delta 1264, expect the visual approach on way 35 right.
35 right, Delta 1264.
So we'll just update that. Delta 1264, descend via the Atlanta 3 arrival, runway 35 right.
Descend via the Atlanta 3, 35 right, Delta 1264.
Circadian 833, information echoes current at JAX, expect the visual approach on way 26.
Alright, expect the visual 26, we'll go ahead and grab echo Circadian 833.
Alright, so we got a bunch of flight plans coming across here. Let's see, American 710 going on the Danny. Let me just update this so I can not type so much. This just puts my departure frequency in right from the get-go. So I had to choose it. Let's see, well, I guess we'll just taxi him where they ought to go here. Let's see, that's going to be Danny. That'll be 17 right. Then we got American 205 is also Danny. So 17 right. Walker 36 says everybody's going down to Miami. Okay.
Jacksonville Center, Southwest 894. You want us to descend via the Pogey arrival?
Southwest 894, pilot's discretion, maintain 5,000.
5,000 for Southwest 894.
Jacksonville Center, Delta 2107 is at cruise.
Thank you. So all these guys are going down to Miami. Everybody gets a quick PDC, makes it easy for me. I don't have to give any voice clearances. That's all done. Okay. So this gentleman is on the downwind. We'll give him all the way down to 3,000 now. Southwest 2737, just to maintain 3,000.
And down 3000, Southwest 2737.
American 1936, Washington's offline. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved.
Over to Unicom. Have a good night, American 1936.
Good night. Speedbird 2323, Miami's off. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Circadian 833, turn left, heading 160, vector's final approach course.
All right, left turn heading 160, and we have Echo on board for Circadian 833.
833, thanks. So he's a King Air, he's only at 4,000 feet. I should easily be able to get him in before this jet. So he's going to be number one for me. Got Southwest coming out of the south. He'll be starting to make a turn to the right here to where the Craig view are, which is here. So it's a very short flight for this guy. He's basically coming out of St. Simons, which is somewhere right in this area here. Real short flight. So I'll get ready to get him set up for the visual. So he's still a little high. He's at 5,000. I like to try to keep him in tight. I usually like to turn him about where he is now, but he's too high, so I'm just going to have to let him drift down a little bit more. And then we'll turn him. He might be, well, he might have tried to go all the way to cue ball at 5,000. So anytime we tell them to descend, they should realize that they don't follow the published altitudes anymore. Circadian 833, turned 5 degrees right, so to maintain 3,000.
Then the 3,005 to the right, Circadian 833.
So 3,000.
JAX Center, American 2280.
American 2280, go ahead.
Hey, quick question about our PDC. We got 17 right for departure. We're showing 35 left for departure, though.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I apologize. That's my fault.
No worries.
I was living in last night.
No worry, it happens.
Yeah, it'll be 35 left.
Sounds good, thanks.
Thank you. Southwest 2737, turn right heading 280.
And 280 for Southwest 2737.
Southwest 894, descend to maintain 4,000.
Descend to maintain 4,000, Southwest 894.
Circadian 833, turn right heading 180.
Right turning 180, it's getting 833.
And all the aircraft going to Miami down there, it's going to be 3-5 left for departure. Apologize.
You got it. We're all talking to each other. Thank you, though.
Gotcha. Circadian 833, Jacksonville's 2 o'clock and 3 miles.
We got a field, 833.
Circadian 833, clear visual approach, runway 26.
Clear for visual 26, getting 833.
So Southwest Star terminates at Craig, so I just have to give him a vector to fly after he gets off of Craig. So I'll probably just give him like a 020 heading just to keep him just outside the Charlie and wrap him around behind this King Air. Southwest 894, depart the Craig VOR heading 020, vectors final approach course.
You want us to turn to 0, give us a heading again for Southwest 894?
Southwest 894, after you cross the Craig VOR, the end of your star, fly heading 020.
Okay, when we cross, okay, 020 for Southwest 894.
Southwest 2737, turn right heading 360.
And 360, Southwest 2737.
Delta 1264, descend and maintain 3000.
3000, Delta 1260.
Southwest 2737, descend and maintain 1600.
1600, Southwest 2737.
Southwest 2737, heading 020, report the field in sight.
And Roger, heading 020, we have the field in sight, Southwest 2737.
Southwest 2737, clear visual approach, runway 35 left.
Clear visual, 35 left, Southwest 2737.
Circadian 833, contact Jacksonville Tower 118.3. Have a good night.
Right to the tower, 183, Circadian 833. Thanks for the help, Howard. See ya.
Welcome. See you later. Southwest 2737, the wind's 350 at 6, runway 35 left, clear to land.
In 833, visual 26.
Clear band 35 left, Southwest 2737.
Circadian 833, I still think you're on center, tower's 118.3. Southwest 894, descend and maintain 3000.
So maintain 3000, Southwest 894.
Southwest 894, Jacksonville's 10 o'clock and 2 miles. You have the field in sight.
I do have the field in sight.
Southwest 894, cleared visual approach, runway 26.
Cleared visual approach runway 26, Southwest 894.
Okay, so he's down to 3,000 feet. He's cleared for the visual. He's within 10 nautical miles of the field, which will have a nice glide path down to the remainder of his final. So he's all set. The southwest clear to land. He's almost down to 3,000, getting ready to turn his base. And he wants a long taxi off 3-5 right. Most all pilots absolutely hate landing on 3-5 right because of the taxi. It's pretty far taxi over to the airport. Almost all the time in the real world, the pilots are begging to get the inner rail. Delta 1264, turn right heading 290, descend and maintain 1,600.
290 down to 16, Delta 12.
Envoy 3762, Miami's off, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Switching, thanks. Have a good night, Envoy 3760.
Good night. Delta 1264, when you roll out, international will be 2 o'clock and 2 miles, report the field in sight.
Good insight, Delta 1264.
1264, clear visual approach, only 3-5 right.
Clear visual 35 right, Delta 1264.
So I try to get these guys on a nice, stable descent. It's 3,000 at Fesha, 1,600 at Hughes. So he's already down to 2,100. He'll have a nice, stable glide into the final here. Southwest 2737, if you like, roll out to the end of the runway is approved for the Southwest ramp.
And Roger, focus in the runway Southwest 2737.
Let's give those engines a nice quick blast there.
Roger, what's that?
So give those engines one last quick blast to get you down to the end there.
Roger, 2737.
Okay, Southwest getting ready to turn final, hand them over to tower. And probably once this guy lands here at Orlando, probably terminate the session. If you guys like the session, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Could leave some comments of things you might like to see or hear, but I just try to give you guys as much information as I can, share information about arrivals, approaches, just give a little bit more explanation for those of you that are kind of new into flight simulation. Want to learn something new. It's kind of the goal of this. And this way you guys get to kind of get to see what's going on behind the radar. You know, we're not really like these nasty, controllers that are barking orders and so on and so forth. It's a learning environment. It's a learning environment for everybody. I still learn something every day. So if anybody has anything they want to teach me, then feel free to do that as well. I love that. Southwest 894, contact Jacksonville Tower 118.3.
Contacting Tower 118.3 for Southwest 894.
Delta 1264, the wind's 350 at 6, runway 35 right, clear to land.
35 right, clear line, Delta 1264.
These guys doesn't look like they're pushing yet. Show you the Aztecs here. You guys kind of see what the Aztecs looks like. Can turn these data tags around just like we can on the scope. Looks like Walker is pushing. And here comes Delta 1264 here on the final for 35 right. It's the southwest ramp up here. Delta Park's right here. American Park's here. Frontier, Spirit kind of share these two here. We have a few overseas carriers that still park here, including Virgin. And then the new terminal here, Terminal C. The only domestic airliner is JetBlue. They're parking here in Terminal C, and then a bunch of overseas carriers are now down here on Terminal C. The ASX gives us logic. It tells us not to send anybody, puts little lines here on these taxiways that tells us not to send anybody across there. There's an airplane coming. It's kind of neat. So all these guys are pushing off here. So I have to untrack the track when it lands. It doesn't automatically just go away. So I just have to untrack it. Key command. Delta 1264, Juliet Lima Kilo, hold short 35 left.
Juliet Lima Kilo, short of 35 left, Delta 1264.
All right, Southwest 2737. Thanks for flying ZGX. Have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night. 2737.
Guess I can add a tab here for you guys for Jacksonville's airports. Let's see, new tab, Tower Cab, and Jacksonville. There we go. I can see. We'll do a display, takedown, we'll increase this, that's already up, and we'll just, no, it's already done. So that's pretty good. So they do take satellite data. So this is all sat data that you can see around the airport. It's really kind of neat how they did this. So it's just sat data. Basically, we drew the airports. All we drew was the concrete. And then the sat data actually sits on top of the concrete or underneath the concrete, on top and underneath. So this actually is sat data from the terminal. And so that's how they created these ground maps with the new combined radar client CRC that we have. It's really neat stuff. Delta's taxiing in. Everybody's pushed out here on airside 3. They're going to be calling me for taxi. The heavy aircraft are notated in orange and they're bigger. So it gives the ground guys the obvious, what's obviously a heavy aircraft. We use the heavy appendage or the heavy phraseology all the way up through.
JAX Center, are you American 2280 inside airside 3 ramp with Charlie ready, taxi to 35 left.
We're 2280 JAX Center, Roger, runway 35 left, taxi via Charlie, Foxtrot, excuse me, Charlie Echo Golf.
Charlie Echo Golf to 35 left, American 228.
Delta 1264 to the ramp, taxi via cross runway 35 left, and it'll be Golf Hotel 3 into the ramp.
Cross 35 left, then Hotel Golf, correction, Golf Hotel 3 into the ramp, Delta 1264, good day.
Good day, sir. Delta 2107, nothing further, radar services terminated, frequency change approved.
Jacksonville Center, Walker 3669 Heavy with Charlie ready to taxi, hold and show at Bravo 7.
Walker 3669 Heavy, Jack Center, Roger, runway 35 left, taxi via Charlie Echo Golf.
Charlie Echo Golf, runway 35 left for Walker 3669 Heavy.
And Jack Center, American 205 as well, ready to taxi for 35 left.
American 205, Jack Center, Roger, runway 35 left, follow your company Boeing 737.
Okay, we'll follow company at 35 left, American 205.
And here they go. And Southwest is pulled nicely into his gate over here, JAX. Oh, we got an arrival here. Coming into Orlando. Alpha Lima. Okay. So we use Echo to the east here. Foxtrot to the west. This is Echo and Foxtrot. And Delta's going in here. They park right here. So these aircraft that go into Miami, they're only with us for a short period of time. The top altitude for us going into Miami is 14,000 feet before they go off to Miami Center. So it's a pretty quick trip out of Orlando, out of our airspace going to Miami or to the southwest, like toward Sarasota, etc. And it doesn't look like Alpha Lima is going to call me, which is fine. So it's pretty common. A lot of people on VATSIM will fly together. A bunch of buddies will fly together in a group flight. It's pretty common. I had a group flight of 5 last weekend that flew out of Charlotte to Jacksonville all together. So it's kind of fun. It's fun for them. It's fun for me because I'm sequencing aircraft together, keeping them separated. So it's actually a lot of fun when people do that. I think for everybody. So it's pretty crazy how we make these files. We take the airport diagram as a PDF form, and then we convert it. And in this situation, we convert it and we create this in AutoCAD, and then we eventually assign it. We actually have to line it up and get it exactly in the real world where it belongs.
JAX Center, good day, good speed 240 VFR request.
All the same here. Make everything line up on.
Delta 2107, Jacksonville Center, switching to Unicom.
Sorry, it was Delta 2107. Yeah, to Unicom 122.8. Have a good night.
Delta 2107, thanks for your service tonight, sir.
Good night. And who had the VFR request?
Yeah, good speed 240.
Jet speed 240?
Good speed, GOOD.
How do you spell the whole call sign?
Golf, Papa Delta.
Good speed 240 JAX, squawk 7327, maintain VFR.
7327, maintain VFR.
So if I don't know call sign, I'll just put it sometimes in the remarks. Help me remember. Good speed 240, radar contact 20 miles east of the Savannah VOR. The Savannah altimeter is 3031.
That checks 3031, we're VFR to Gainesville at 16.5.
Roger, is the aircraft type?
PC-12, Slant Lima.
So one of our regular pilots does a great job. Enjoy having him flying around the airspace. So he gave me everything that I needed. He gave me his aircraft type, destination, and he wants 16,500. So in the altitude here, I just put a V for VFR and then 165.
Center, Walker 3669 heavy, runway 35 left, ready for departure.
Walker 3669 heavy, RNAV to go home, runway 35 left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV, go home, 35 left, clear for takeoff. Walker 3669 heavy.
So the FAA definitely has a sense of humor. You know, some of the fixes that they use and name, as everybody probably knows, are pretty funny. A lot of the arrivals have themes, and a lot of the fixes are themed in the arrival. So it's always some good fun. So this guy's a heavy. I'm going to give him 2 minutes for wake turbulence. So he's starting to roll now. So I'm just going to do a quick timer. Give him a 2-minute roll here. American 2280, runway 35 left, line up and wait, caution jet blast.
35 left, line up and wait, American 2280.
Digital aircraft, Daytona 8 is Charlie now, current Daytona altimeter 3026. Walker 3669 heavy radar contact, say altitude.
Walker 3669 heavy is passing 1,500 for climbing via SID.
Walker 3669, you can climb unrestricted, maintain 14,000.
Unrestricted 14,000, Walker 3669 heavy.
Okay, so we're a minute 25 into the 2-minute wake turbulence. So we're just waiting for, I'm trying to get this guy to call. I don't want this guy to land on 35 left or be an idiot, but he's not calling.
We're ready to get out of here.
Yeah, you gotta love the FAA.
Yep.
American 2280, caution wave turbulence departing Boeing 7's Heavy Boeing 767, runway 35 left, RNAV to go home, clear for takeoff.
RNAV go home, we'll be careful with the wake, 35 left, clear for takeoff, American 2280.
So we'll reset our timer. American 205, runway 35 left, line up and wait.
Runway 35 left, line up and wait, American 205.
See where this guy actually is landing on 35 left. Wow. This is stupid, as usual. American 205, just to let you know, there is a guy who's just not answering me. Looks like he's of course lining up for 35 left. Of all the runways to line up for, he lines up for 35 left. But anyway, it is what it is. Not a lot I can do about it. Hopefully it won't interfere with you.
Oh yeah, we'll see how it goes, American 205.
Yeah, hopefully he'll just go around and be normal and just not land, but we'll see what happens.
LAX incident all over again.
Yeah.
And Center American 2280 is passing 1747 on the Danny 3.
American 2280, roger, radar contact. You can climb unrestricted, maintain 14,000.
Unrestricted will climb, maintain 14,000, American 2280.
It looks like this guy's just paused here on the final. So I'm going to give this guy 5 miles separation since they're all going to the same destination. Just create a little bit of separation for them. We don't have to apply any rate turbulence with this aircraft. It's a large aircraft, following a large aircraft, so we don't have to apply any wake turbulence here. American 205, RNAV to go home, runway 35 left, clear for takeoff. Looks like that traffic's on about a mile final.
Okay, runway 35 left, clear for takeoff, RNAV to go home, American 205.
Walker 3669 heavy, leaving my airspace. Miami's gone. Radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good flight.
Frequency changes approved for Walker 3669 heavy. See ya!
See you later. American 205, radar contacts altitude.
2,900, climbing 5,000, Walker, or correction, American 205.
205, roger. You can climb unrestricted, maintain 14,000.
Unrestricted and climb maintain 14,000, American 205.
American 2280, radar services terminated. Frequency change approved. Have a good night.
All right, we'll see you next time, Howard. Take care. Have a good night, American 2280.
Good night. All right, so guys, I'm going to go probably just end this session. Nothing more going on. I'm going to probably close up myself, get some stuff done. Again, if you like the content here, just hit the subscribe button and like it. And I'll probably try to put out a video, at least maybe 2 a weekend. Eventually trying to get to the point where we're doing some live streams. I'm just trying to right now just tweaking and checking settings and see how things look. We'll see how it looks on a black as opposed to blue, and we'll keep on going. Thanks for joining me. Hope you guys have a great week. Radar contact lost is out.